Hi and welcome. This is my very good friend Lewis Moore, and he's part of the European design team from Joico.
And this is my very good friend Ian Davies, who's also a member of the European design team for Joico.
On you. Go.
Me. So what I'd like to talk about today is actually my interesting fact I've got, Ian, is did you know that hair is actually like fabric?
Actually, Lewis, yeah, I did know that fact. Hair is very similar to the fabric of wool. In fact, it has 19 amino acids and wool has 18. And so they're very similar and they react similar under similar circumstances.
This is what, when I sort of actually discovered that, that led me to think about how what we do professionally and every day is kind of very similar to what a tailor does with their role.
Okay. Before you go any further, like a tailor, you mean the guy who makes suits and ties and those type of things, yes?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
I need you to explain that a little bit more to me.
Okay. So, how a tailor works is he follows patterns, which is what we do. He also cuts shapes into materials, and then manipulates that material or the fabric to create the shape that he wants to achieve.
Okay, I'm with you so far.
So that's how my train of thought led me to think about what we do with tailoring. And then they also will mix the materials together to create a total shape. So then we start looking at how do we make the material that we work into other forms to make it work for us as shapes.
Right, I think I know where you're going with this, Lewis.
So here's your
I think what we're looking at is actually using products to create the hair into a brand new fabric, something that feels different to its original state. So we're looking to alter the shape, the texture of hair by using product. Is that fair to say?
Bob on.
Okay, so you've obviously got a few tricks up your sleeve. You've done lots of photo shoots, you've done lots of different mediums, you've taught, you've done big seminars. So you must have a few favourite products.
Yeah, for me, I think each product that we use obviously gives us a different result to the hair. So think of it, what you're going to get out of the hair with each product, and even sometimes a different product on the same haircut will give us different results. So my first product that I tend to use a lot of in the salon is Joy Lotion. A Joy Lotion, I would actually say Joy Lotion makes the hair feel almost like silk. So when you layer it on the hair becomes very smooth. It doesn't actually feel like there's a great deal of product going on there. It feels beautiful and silky. So hence that silk feel to it. And that's what I always tend to say to a client, that when we're working through the hair, that's the feel that we're going to get. You're not going to feel product in it, but it's going to work and it's going to surround the hair like silk does.
So how would you use it then, Lewis?
So how I always apply it, and I think this is a really key point, is learning your clients how to apply product in the hair. So I always get about a 10 pp size, put it into my hand, work it into the palms of my hand, in between my fingers, and then I start raking the hair with my fingers, using almost like my fingers like a comb, and work that all the way through the hair. And then what I would do then is get a wide tooth comb and distribute it through the hair, and make sure that I show the client how to do it. Okay.
I quite like that.
Yeah, it's good.
So I like to think that with products, when I speak to my clients, I like them to think of products being a bit like their own wardrobe, in the fact that they would use their wardrobe on a daily basis and change the way they feel, or by using denim one day they want to dress down, or they want to dress up and wear like a smart suit. So products can act in the same way, and I think if using the right product to get the right results can almost take your product experience into like a wardrobe experience for your hair. And I think that's a really good way of explaining it to customers, and that way they get to associate much closely with the products that we're using. So
I was going to say, come on,
you want to know? I guess you want to know. Yeah. So my favourite one, Lewis, at the moment, mine is Power Whip. The reason I love Power Whip is that it's a lycra type product. So imagine lycra, it's very stretchy, it's quite durable, but it has like a memory, so no matter what shape you are or how you put it, it always spring back to the right shape. And Power Whip has the ability to have its own memory. It's heat activated, so when you dry it in with a good heat with a brush, it'll hold the wave, it'll hold the curl, or it'll hold the smoothness, whatever shape you want to put in there. And it's like a protective layer around the hair as well. But I love the fact that this has this memory, so you can put your hands through it when it's dry, when your hair's dry, and it'll just spring back into shape. So several hours after you finish your hair, you brush it through, and you're back to the original state of the first blow dry.
So how would you apply that with a client? You would show them how to do it.
Okay, I'm going to follow up on something else you said earlier on.
Yeah.
You just say was that you like to lay a product on, and power whip can be done the same way. So sometimes I'll add a tiny bit of power whip. It's quite a concentrated product, so I use a tiny amount and I'll work into my hands. I'll comb it right through from roots to points, because I want the whole of the hair to get the benefits from each single strand from the whole product. And then I would probably just get the shape that I wanted, and then maybe add a little bit more. If I can't feel any product in the hair, I'm going to go for a little bit more. And that way I can use the brush or the comb or the Demon brush to get the results I want with it. And that way it's going to give me a really soft feeling to the hair. So you have to distribute it really well, and you have to educate the customer about how to distribute really well. So sometimes put it in their hands and let them play with it and see how they would do it, and then educate them how to do it properly.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I think is getting that client to feel the hair themselves and how it works, how it's shaped. They actually see our product works better if it's distributed in the correct way.
I don't know if you find this yourself, but sometimes if you show a client a product and how to put it on, and if you don't show them correctly how to mix it, they'll end up just going bosh and get too big product marks. They don't understand the product. So it's about distribution and educating the customer about that.
It's fantastic. It's a great point.
So I can see we've got a few other products from this. So
So the next product I would go towards is Body Lux from and it's the Volumizing Elixir, which I would always compare this product to almost like a cashmere on the hair. Simply for the fact of, you think of the texture and the feel of cashmere, it has a very soft feel, gentle feel, very light, but also has that little bit of plumpness to it.
Yeah.
So how I would work that into the hair is I would kind of go for probably about 40% dry.
Yeah.
So it's not diluting it too much. And again, work it into my hands, raking it through, but really using it more as if you're shampooing your hair. So when you shampoo your hair, you rub it into the roots. You're not really going through the ends. And then just literally sort of work the hair through that way. Because obviously it's a volumizing product. You want volume. The volume will always want to come from the roots. Okay. That's how I would apply it.
I really like that. Actually, I'm going to follow up with that because the one that I like to use the most, I probably use it the most as a daily basis. It's from the same line. It's part of the Body Lux line, and this is the volumizing foam. It's fantastic. Today, the trend is for big blow dries on really soft waves in hair. This is the product for that. It's lightweight. It's almost like a gossamer feel to the hair, and it plumps up the hair exactly as you say. But this remains weightless, like a gossamer sheet, like something you would just feel in the wind to be soft. The hair returns and is soft and it's beautiful, and it still moves. I think you've worked with me long enough to know that I love hair to shine, I love hair to be big and beautiful, and it has to look healthy. And this is the product I think promotes that the most, because it builds the body, gives me great shine, and gives me great hold without it being a feel in there. It's almost invisible, just like a gossamer feel to it. So that's one of my favourite products in that is.
It's great. And so then we're going to work through onto my next product, which is a great working spray, what we call a working spray, Design Works. Literally, I would say this has a feel of almost like a Gore-Tex within the hair, so it's almost protecting the hair. You're working in, it's not stiff, it's flexible, but still strong, like Gore-Tex is. And then it gives you that flexibility when you're working with it. It's because it's not too sticky in the hair, you can manipulate the shapes before you fix it with something that's a lot stronger.
So it adds some protection to the outside of the hair.
Exactly, that's exactly.
So you would wear like a Gore-Tex layer over or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we do the same thing, yeah. I like that idea.
Yeah, that's how I would explain it to a client. That's what it's exactly doing. It's not going to give you the hold of a stronger spray, but it's going to give you the protection and the flexibility that you get from Gore-Tex.
Okay.
You feel it's quite, Gore-Tex is a very light material, but it's incredibly strong at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to follow up and I'm just going to do the last thing, and it might from the K-Pack line, and this is smoothing balm. I love hair to be healthy, shiny, and to get shine you need reflection, okay? So if you think about any of the fabrics we talk about, if we associate things with fabric, this would be like a lame. It's got like iridescent little pearls in it, that shine. So when it dries in your hand, it's almost got a sheen to it, almost like a real reflection. And I think I want the hair to be the same. So this is something like, it's a creamy sort of product. And you can put quite a bit on, like maybe a size of a 10p piece. And often people think that's too much, but actually it dries so cleanly in the hair and without any hold or without any heaviness that it gives the hair just a fantastic sheen and shine. It's something I would add with each product. I would add it to maybe the power mousse. I would add it maybe with the volumizing foam, just to give it extra shine. It doesn't weigh the hair down anymore, and it's a great complement to a lot of products. It's one of my all-time favorites. It's one of the most versatile products I think I probably use. But I would look at like almost like a gold lame, you know, so you get that real reflection.
See you in that, yeah.
You've seen that? I think so. I think that'd be quite cool actually. I think that's my next order. The next gold lame tie.
That's it.
That'd be
No,
cool.
but I think that's a great great description of the products and how they work. And I think it's always really important when we're doing this is to kind of break it down onto a client's level when you explain it, not to our level as hairdressers.
Mm.
You know, you've got to keep it at the level that the client will understand all the time. That's how I see. That's how I explain it. How.
So I think from an educational point of
Yeah.
view, you would look at it as almost that we are the tailors,
Yeah.
but they have the wardrobe.
Yeah. Exactly. They're giving us the material. We are creating their wardrobe for them.
I really like the idea.
So.
Thank you,
Good.
Lewis.
Cheers, mate.
Good job.
Well done.